seeing anybody.
Got anybody, Kim?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Closing public comments. Approval of the minutes. Do we have
Move to approve the minutes.
Second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, minutes have been approved. Order of business, expert lawn and snow.
He is running a few minutes behind. He will be here shortly.
Okay. Do we need to-
No.
Wait for
I
it.
mean, you guys can, I mean, discuss whatever you want to discuss.
I got a discussion, it's not a question. The greenhouse that burned down on Main Street, is there some kind of a timetable that needs to be taken care of, or? I guess I've never really.
I was
looked into
wondering
it.
too, isn't there have to
So,
do
hold
with the
on,
I've
insurance?
never looked at
hold on,
that.
hold on, whoa. Let's go down to other business when we get to that one.
Well, I thought we just had a couple minutes.
To kill, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, well,
So-
the
so-
zoning guy then, thanks,
Yeah.
man.
Sorry. So couple things. I've driven by your place. Looks like you're not parking out front. Looks like you're
Right.
not parking across the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Can I get any other feedback on that? I mean, I've
I
been by
haven't
there
seen
3 or
it.
4 times in the last couple weeks. so
Oh,
it's
I'm
not-
by there 3-4 times every day, I have not seen a problem.
I tried to make 100% sure that that's not gonna happen again. I talked to all my guys. We sat down and had a full conversation on specifically that.
Okay, thank you. And it looks, like I said, every time I've driven by there, all the trucks have been in good shape and not, anyway, so thank you for doing that.
You're
So,
welcome. Thank you.
I think if I remember, we asked 3 things of you, not to park on the south side of the building out by the road to block, not to park your trucks or your snow plows out over the sidewalk.
Right.
And the third one was try and get your certificate of occupancy figured out and have an ID on that one.
Yeah, I have. I've been working on that for
Okay.
the past month, but I haven't got no information and no response. I've reached out several.
Okay, well, here's the guy that can help us with that. So-
Yes. Good evening, Pete.
Hey, Pete, how you doing?
Good, sir.
Welcome to the
Take your time.
meeting.
It's just a little packet here to try to boil this down on the building side of it.
Sure.
So here, there was a chain of emails, and I think the last one sent to Paula essentially said that there wasn't anything, nothing in the email chain that had been alerted to that there was an issue with the C of O. Here's a separate one initially sent to the contractor on the roofing, and then also copied to Mr. Smith. And then a subsequent one sent, this was back in November of 2021. So those are the first 2 emails that you see there. November 11th was the first one, and it does talk about no existing occupancy classification of building or structure, a portion thereof should not be made until a certificate of occupancy has been issued. This is basic, forgive the pun, hammer and nail stuff with the building department. So we go through those 2 right there, and then the next one is just the building permit with the county, as you see down in the stipulation. This is the permit being extended on the roofing. It has nothing to do with the interior. Use of the interior of that building was a change of use for zoning. That building not been used for much more than just the cold storage. It's being used for more than that, and we do not know the status of the upper apartment to be at whatever stage that's in. There was discussions on load bearing for the weight of the roof and stuff through the center there. Our building inspector needs to get in there, work with Mr. Smith, make sure everything's done.
He did go in there last time and no work has been performed since then.
And that's what we want to catch up on, because we need to find, these permits have been extended, and we just need to get to that concluding point with it. And there's no animosity here. We just want to get this shored up so that you folks have a safe building. This is you have the building jurisdiction. The county's a contractor to that. And so we just want to make sure everything is good. So we need that permit finalized out on the building, and then we need to make sure that everything that's going on inside is going, per the standards. Is there repair taking place in there? Is there welding taking place in there? These are things that we need to figure out. Now, there's been some, that's a nice word for it, adamant discussions about use in there. I will be more than happy to go there with the building official and Mr. Smith and his contractor, just to make sure we're all on the same page. There's no ambiguities about what we're doing. Ambiguities on our side. Sometimes our building officials will talk up here. We need to talk down here. So I'll be more than happy to be involved in that. The next sheet, after you get past that building permit one with the fees and everything, just kind of has the history for the city's records of just, when inspections were done and talk to we haven't had much in there.
There actually was not a well inspection done. I purchased the property as commercial property, and then I came back here and you guys told me it was residential. So technically, if it was residential in Shiawassee County, there should have been a well inspection done before I purchased the building. I was sold the building as commercial, and then I came back here and had to get it rezoned because you guys said it was residential. It was marked as commercial on the BSNA website when I purchased the building. So there has been no inspection.
And our office does not cover wells. Regarding Shiawassee County would handle that at point of sale inspection. Sounds like it's for residential only. We did go through this between whether it was residential or commercial, and BSNA is not the be all end all for the zoning. The zoning map is the zoning map, and that's, yeah. And so we went through the rezoning process that and followed the normal, what we do for anyone else walking through the door. There's also a big disclaimer on the bottom of BSNA that says not all information can, be deemed accurate. The next thing is blah, blah, blah from the state, has to do with enforcement and what can be done. $500 a day fines. As you can see, as this went through the process, the big hammer has never been dropped down. We want to work with people. We want to get through that. And I think Mr. Smith does this as well. So that concludes it. It's fairly cut and dry in my opinion. Do I think that you folks should revoke the special use permit tonight? No, I'd give us a chance to work with him to get that final issue with the C of O done, but I wouldn't dally about it. We need to get it shored up.
So how long do you think it will take to get? There's the certificate of occupancy. You can also get a temporary one. How long would it take to get one of those? And you're asking me, so to me, the difference is, yeah, it's okay, but there are things you need to do before you get the final, and who knows how long that one's gonna take until you get in there and see things.
I think that we can get back to this meeting in a month,
Okay,
to your regular schedule, not with the C of O of hand, not with the temporary of hand, but at least a better idea of where we need to go.
Okay.
We're gonna know real quick about, we're not coming in there with the heavy hand. The permit is up May 1st. And so, we'll give one more extension. I think that we need to meet before May 1st and come up with a game plan.
you guys.
Yes.
So a couple questions that came up last time. Hang on just
Yeah.
a second. So we talked about this, so that I want to get, what should have prompted him getting a certificate of occupancy? Let me give you my experience, right? I go get a permit, building permit, go through all the process. The building inspector comes out and says, yep, you're good. And he gives me a C of O, right? His case, he says he didn't have to do anything to the first floor of the building other than paint it and those type of things. Yeah, he was getting a building permit for the second floor, but nothing on the first floor.
The building permit was initially for the roof and such.
Okay.
And to provide load bearing. There's
Okay.
going to be no occupancy of an apartment on the second floor. The first floor where, and this happens is you have a conversation. What are you doing in there? I'm just doing this and just doing that.
Understand, it's just,
Right.
my question was not so much on this case, it was
Just-
just in a
Yeah.
general type question,
You
because
get
that's what I
those.
kept asking,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
And
So-
see, the building official is not supposed to give their final occupancy CFO until plumbing, mechanical, and electrical
Yep.
are done either.
Yep.
So, there's a lot of things to,
And that would be for the apartment you're talking, correct?
that would be just for the, for the basement, or not for the basement, for the first floor. We need a declared use. Is it just cold storage? Oh,
No, I'm using it for my bit. We have a special use permit. We know exactly what I'm using it for.
but
There's
you have,
no
you have a zoning, you have a zoning.
question.
Right, but you have a zoning for that, but that has never walked through the building department side of it yet. It was roofing, and then from the time that the special use permit was for the zoning, there was the working together between the two departments.
Right, and
And
that's
there
right.
could have been balls dropped on both sides. Okay, absolutely agree with that.
So my understanding was, when Silvio messaged back, I think it was October, and asked about the occupancy permit, he also mentioned, has the work been completed? My understanding is you don't need an occupancy permit until the work has been completed.
You're not supposed to occupy until the work is done.
Right, in the upstairs, correct?
No,
No,
your
The
permit
whole
was,
building.
Why
that's,
wasn't that brought about before I started construction?
No, wait,
I mean, I
wait.
guess.
If he's decided not to do the apartment, that apartment doesn't need to be done for him to get occupancy for something. I mean, that's right.
Right, but.
but he
the
still
entire
needs
building-
occupancy.
I get it, I get it, yes.
But there's
Yes.
also improvements that want to make.
The
sure-
roofing and those type of things,
But
get
there's
that
sup-
too,
But there's
right?
supports that, no matter,
Yeah.
if
Yep,
you say
nope.
you're gonna use a 10 by 10 in the very corner of the building, if those supports aren't done right, then,
Yeah.
you're gonna lose that as well.
I get
To occupy buildings, don't you have to have running water and a flush toilet and all that stuff?
Well, depends on what the use is necessarily.
Well,
If
that's
it's
why I'm
cold- Yeah,
asking.
if it's cold storage and stuff, and I think that's where things break down between zoning and building. The zoning ordinance is this thick, general use, the building code for commercial is that thick, so, it's.
So let's go back and let me try and paraphrase this, right? We're discussing it, I'm discussing as much for me, right? But really, it's up to you and Pete's group to figure out what needs to be done to get a certificate of occupancy, so you can have your building, or
Right,
your
and
your business
communication
in
has
there.
been pretty difficult on
Yeah.
that part. I'm gonna be
No.
honest.
So,
This is a lot of confusion, to be honest.
It is.
Okay, so basically what you want is an occupancy, if I can say the word, permit for the downstairs. You're not going to do any work upstairs for how long, or?
I don't know, like I told you
Okay,
guys
let's
at the last
just
meeting.
cancel that, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to find out what he needs to do to get his permit for the downstairs, so we can run his business out of it.
We don't need to do anything.
Oh, I know, we don't, but we need
That's
to
why
know.
we got
Yeah,
him.
that's
right.
why,
We
that's
need
why
to
I put
know.
it.
And we
that's up
just
them
need to
figure out.
say, we're gonna table this till next month, if that's how long you want to give them.
Or put the hammer
And
down.
let them bring the information back to what they sell. I mean,
Well,
that's,
mean,
Okay, but I still would like to understand what needs to be done.
Yeah.
well, it's
So
like you
I-
go build a house, you can't live in it until you get everything done. I mean, it's simple, it's not hard. And,
Well, if it's simple, not how come we're here for 3 months now on this?
Yeah, that's where I'm.
well, it's not been followed is the problem.
Here's what we do. So, you have, there's lots of buildings, building permits going on. at any given time. So you have somebody coming in first to fix the road, okay, and get that short up. He ran into contractor problems as well.
Yeah, we know that.
Some of this should have been done in writing from our side, because it's going through zoning. Hey, we got a change of use here, and then I think where communication is, and I think at one point you even said something to the effect of no, I just wait on the occupancy. Talking about two different things.
I did.
The
and I-
human,
And I said, if there's anything you need, please contact
Yeah.
me. This was back in October.
and when human beings sometimes have miscommunication, that happens. However, we also don't have, do you still have the same license contractor for the road?
Well, as of now, yes, it is that guy. Yeah,
And so is the roof complete with all the
No.
supports?
no.
Okay,
we
so
would have contacted
Yeah, there you
guys.
go.
So, again, so communicate with the contractor, communicate with the owner. The contractor is gonna have the, more of the detailed intimate knowledge of it, the building official trying to talk with the owner of the property. They get screwed up. Yeah, it's a little screwed up.
That many people
You know,
involved.
it's,
I've been on the other side.
yeah,
I mean,
it is not easy. And I think you can also attest from the other side of it, that you line up all your contractors expecting for them to know what to do. I mean, I had to wait for occupancy on my building for grab bar being like 1.5 inches too high. Well, because of what I do, I'm not gonna go in the building, find, change that. Well, week and a half later, because they tore the drywall up and didn't have it properly mounted in there, now they gotta paint and, so yeah, it takes forever sometimes. But we're willing to work with it. We're willing to work with Mr. Smith. I'm willing to go down there just to make sure we get the clutter out of this one. It happens. Some of these things, folks, actually, a building permit comes in, it gets reviewed, they go out and do the work and comes back and everything's good. We don't see these people ever again. They're happy, or they stop me in the grocery and say, wow, that was the easy process. Not all of them go like that. So,
And the roof needs to be finished so that
yes.
you could even get a structural permit anywhere.
I think what happened here was that the change in use was never addressed with a permit. Right, I mean, that's the piece that everybody is missing here. It really, I mean, go all the way back to if he did absolutely nothing to the building, he did a change in use. It went from a vacant building to a special, whatever, land contract, whatever we call it, without,
Contractors established.
without storage or something, whatever. So
Without
it went
outside storage.
from that to that,
And that should have prompted
correct.
a certificate. of-
Anything, like we
whatever.
have vacant buildings downtown, say Klotz Carpet Store, now it's, it's not a store, if somebody moved back in there with a carpet store, it wouldn't need a change of use, because it's not been that long that happened. But if you moved in there and you wanted to have a restaurant, you have to have a change in use permit. Or if you didn't even want to do anything to it and you just wanted it to be a place where people gathered and had meetings, that's a change in use. Because now you might have more people in there at once and have to have a bigger need for the bathrooms. And all of those fall to the building code, not to us. So that piece just somehow or another fell through the cracks. It's in this document I gave you guys with your packet. On page 16, it says, change in use may require a site plan review and a building inspection. We had the site plan review somehow or another. I mean, we just didn't get the building inspected for the change in use.
And I think that's because we started the structural roof first and then.
Right, so there's something just kind of got mixed up here, but it is clear that this is supposed to happen. Sometimes, things fall through the cracks. Sometimes, I mean, when somebody comes into me, we do all this, stuff starts get pulled. I assume the county, I washed my hands of it and gave it to the county. Until something happens where, suddenly we're trying to figure out whether we should bill them for a sewer or not. And they're like,
So-
they don't have running
So
water.
here's,
Then we know we had a change in use that still needed to be addressed.
So what if, what if anything do we need to do? that-
This is
to
really
be able
out
to
of the
help
planning
move it along?
commission's.
so,
Yeah, okay.
so we're gonna go back to where I was a few minutes ago. At this point, it's up to you guys to figure out what needs an occupancy permit. For you to keep your special use permit, you need to have an occupancy permit.
Okay.
Okay, or what, a certificate of occupancy, right? That's not for the city, it's not for Paula to do, it's for Pete and his folks, right?
I understand
To-
that. And
yeah.
since last meeting, I tried working on that. I haven't
Yeah,
got
no, I get it, I get it.
No
Well,
reply,
Pete's-
no response.
Pete's
I
now
figured I
involved.
could have had it taken care of.
Yep.
I
If this
responded
was-
to you several times.
Yeah, I'm talking to these guys. I've got no information from Pete. It seems like I could have got this taken care of before this meeting, let alone having a whole nother meeting.
Yeah, did your contractor reach out? Did you reach out specifically to Sylvia?
I
You
contacted you guys. I talked to your Mike here. Mike here was at the last meeting. He knew. what was
That's a
going
month
on.
ago. Now, what happened between the meeting and that? And now,
I've contacted Paula
And
and
you-
copied on emails to you guys.
your copy on email to me was that, see, Paula, there's nothing there. And I said, and I wrote you back and said that, we would get some information, okay, on this. But
Right.
again, it's been months since November, and stuff, so I don't want to do the tit for tat, Jay.
I
Yeah,
don't
we-
either.
can I use
I
this
don't
out?
either.
Let me, whoa, let me
I don't
Oh,
know.
let me jump.
There's a whole lot of conflict of interest going on here, and I don't want to get into everything. with
Let's
you.
let it, it's a public hearing. Go.
Conflict of interest, like I mentioned last time, the guy trespassed on my building,
There we go.
unwelcome, have a police report to prove it. Okay, another conflict of interest.
Well, how is
You
that
were
a
trying to purchase my building the same time I was trying to purchase it. Now you got the okay to tell me what to do with it. How does that work out?
I was trying to purchase.
Well,
or
I'm
look
gonna-
at it.
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
stop you. Stop it.
Kinda,
I
Stop.
love it.
Time out. Okay, all right. So what I heard Pete say 15 minutes ago was essentially, okay, bygones are bygones, right? Let's give you 30 days to figure out what has to happen
I
and come
mean,
up with a plan.
I mean, I
Let's not
understand.
worry about what's happened. Let's not worry about what's happened before. Let's work moving forward and get you, so you know what you need for your certificate of occupancy.
And that's what I've
And you
been
can
trying
make
to
us
do.
happy, that can make you happy, that can make the county happy, and we can move on.
Right.
We don't need to go back and rehash what has or what hasn't happened.
Well, I'm just saying the past does change things
I'm-
and it creates certain situations.
I'm asking you-
It is what it
Let's
is.
forget the past.
Let's forget the past, right?
Mr.
Let's
Smith
see if
has
you
been
and
on
Pete
very
can
Or
good.
we
The
can-
city has admitted to a possible mistake in the process as far as it possibly being overlooked.
Right.
Jake, your part is, from what I've seen, is you have said you don't want occupancy, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. I have made a recommendation, and I will put it in a motion, that we will give you 30 days to still continue your business
Mhm.
and work with these gentlemen, period, and you guys better come up with some kind of resolution, because I'm not gonna play games with you all summer.
Either am I, and if it goes like the last 30 days.
I don't wanna hear
sounds
it.
like
I don't wanna
nothing's
hear
gonna
it.
happen.
Right now, we could shut you down tonight.
I understand
So
that.
we don't wanna do that. All
I
I'm saying is
understand
it's not, there is no reason for this nitpicking shit.
There's no nitpicking, it's facts.
Yes, it
and
is.
they're
It
putting them on
doesn't
the table.
matter.
Do
Do
we have
you
a
want
motion?
results, or do you wanna be closed?
I do, and that's what I've been working on for the past month with no results.
Well,
So
you're gonna have to work at a lot
So if you're
longer.
gonna give me 30 days, well, okay, you guys asked me to contact the county. I contact the county.
I think
it
you
goes-
better start with your contractor and get him in the ballgame, because until he starts getting in the ballgame, you ain't going anywhere.
Well, all right, find somebody else, right?
Well,
I have to-
either or,
I
but
have to
that's what
work
I'm
it.
saying. You can't get an occupancy permit until you get that roof done, period.
Well, this should have been brought about before.
Well, it's brought
But the
about now,
building
sir.
stuff is nothing we can handle.
Right.
And if there's no lenience
That's what I
on
said.
it because it was dropped through the ball, it was already admitted that it wasn't my fault that fell through the hole.
What fell through the hole?
No,
The
that was not
occupancy
admitted.
permit
Okay,
during
what
the,
about the roof? You've had your permit extended a number of times.
right.
Go ahead, go back 30 days, go back 60 days, go back 120 days.
Oh, it's
You
been
have,
2
you have,
years.
because you have a contractor that you've not been able to work with, you've been bumping through this. If I were you, I'd go back to 15 minutes ago, where I said, I do not think the planning commission should revoke this special use permit and allow the building department to work with Mr. Smith. Mr.
Right.
Smith, though, keeps wanting to bring up things and make conjecture that has no foundation whatsoever in this. Mr. Smith, wait just a second,
Go ahead,
then listen to me. Don't be thinking about what you're gonna say next.
I'm listening.
Okay, so we're going to work with you over the next 30 days. We're gonna come up with a plan.
You as in Preston's Community Services, correct? Who's we?
Who represent the city of Langford?
Me,
Yes,
the director of the Community Development Department of Shiawassee County,
okay,
me as Preston Community Services, working with the city of Langsford,
okay.
okay? Me as the employer of the building official that's going to come and work this out with you.
Right,
Does that answer your question?
yes.
Was
As
there
long
anything
as
else
we-
you wanted as part of that answer?
Are we gonna be able to get that fixed within 30 days? Because I was
Mr. Smith.
expecting it to be fixed by the last meeting.
We do not pick up hammer and nails and fix it for you. We do not design it. We do not do the work for you. You need to bring your contractor to the table. You need to bring somebody to the table that can speak the language of what needs to happen with the certificate of occupancy there. That means the person needs to talk about load bearing on that roof as originally petitioned to our office and building permit, correct?
Right,
Has that work been done?
blueprints and everything.
Has that work been done? No.
They have been put some load bearing stuff up there, but it's
Has
not
there?
finished.
And it has not
Correct.
been inspected.
Right,
So let's go back now, probably 20 minutes ago. Again, I do not think this planning commission should do this. I think our office, irrespective of it's me as Preston Community Services, me as Shiawassee County, me as an individual that's worked in this profession for 25 years, and we will work this out. Or you can keep throwing little darts and delaying things, and then you're gonna lose your special use permit, and you're gonna fall under the civil penalties for occupancy of a building without permit. So, pick it.
Understandable.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I heard a motion to,
I'll second that motion.
Let's read it so we all know
Let's
what it
read the
is.
motion.
the motion was to, give Expert Lawrence know another 30 days to work on their C of O or a plan to get us toward a C of O, and at that time,
A clear cut plan. right?
There'll be a recommendation from us whether they can move forward or not.
to allow them to keep their special land use permit.
I don't think we want to say.
I don't want to say
No,
not
no, no.
revoke it.
No.
'cause
Yeah, so,
that's-
so now we just, yeah, yes, that's where I was going. Now, if y'all walk in here, go, we haven't been able to get a hold of anybody. I mean, that's not gonna be acceptable 30 days from now. That's not gonna be acceptable, right?
So the motion is
Wow.
to extend the special land use another 30
So
days.
I can give you the number. You can talk to Rose. And she can find somebody to call you back. It's not that hard
From the county?
from the county.
That would
Yes.
be great. yeah.
Mr. Smith has not reached out by phone since the last.
Oh, I get,
There's
I,
been- I know, but when we
Yeah.
say reach out to whoever to contact our office, we have 3 staff people in there that are answering phones
Mhm.
and another 2 building inspectors in there, plus an electrical inspector,
Mhm.
plus a planner and a code enforcement officer. So one of those lines, I guarantee you, works.
And I did reach out, it was my wife, excuse me, did reach out. to
so
get
it is Rose. I am
Through
remembering.
phone call.
To me,
One of the people
And
that
to
answers the phone is
Preston's
Rose.
Community
up there.
Services also. Same
Ruth,
thing.
Ruth, I'm sorry, it's Ruth.
Ruth?
Every time I've called her, she's been great. I mean, she's, okay, I need to get a hold of somebody, right? So,
We're here.
So what exactly do I gotta, I guess, what exactly do I gotta do? I have to try to get a hold of my contractor and have him contact you, Pete?
Let's, yeah. let's
Basically,
try
you need to get your building
Yeah,
fixed
we'll
and have
talk
it
after.
inspected.
all of that is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so the motion is to extend the expert lawn and snow
Consideration of the.
Yep. compliant consideration of the special land use for an additional 30 days.
here's
Or
here's
for the
what,
next regular meeting.
Let her read it.
Okay, until the
Yeah.
next
Sorry,
regular
I thought she
meeting.
was done. Sorry.
Well, he said 30 days, so I'll just say until the next regular meeting. I'm not gonna mention the C of O, not,
And I would expect at that point, you will have a plan for moving forward, and the building commission, correct me if I'm wrong, here, Pete, will say, yes, we think this is easily fixed when the contractor gets there and he can get a certificate of occupancy in fairly short order, or it's gonna take $500,000 and 6 years to get it done, and that building isn't gonna be occupiable. And I give extremes, right? But at that point, in the next meeting, we should be able to have that answer and make a decision based on that.
Right.
We don't expect everything to be done for the certificate of occupancy, because you may find that it's a month worth of work, right? But, and again, that's not us, that's for you guys to figure out.
We want you to get it figured out.
We want
So
you
that way you
to,
can continue and everything will just smooth right out. No
I
one
do
here,
too.
I've never seen anyone here have animosity towards a person in the public that sits on council or the meetings just because they're here for a job and that's it. And they're volunteering.
Yeah.
Every one of these people are volunteer. They
No,
don't
I
make a dime.
understand. I don't have any animosity towards you guys. I don't, I am definitely upset about the fact. You know?
Well, if
I
I was
feel
in
like
your
it
shoes, the
should've been-
quickest thing I'd do is I'd find me a contractor.
Yeah,
Well, it
I'd
took-
find a different
It
one.
took me over 6 months. I contacted almost 20 people and I ended up getting 4 estimates out of them. So I don't think the 30 days is.
Well, the 30
Unless there's
days is a
something else.
plan to be set
Yeah.
up. It's
Yeah.
not saying you
Yeah,
have to
it's a
have the
plan.
work
So
done. That's
make
between
sure it
you
gets
and Pete
planned.
and the rest of the group, not us.
so I may,
So we need to do
maybe
a
I
vote on
shouldn't,
this?
maybe I
Yeah.
shouldn't say this. Silvio may walk in there and may say, yeah, you're good for a temporary certificate of occupancy. Not saying he will, he might, you don't know. Silvio, the building inspector, hasn't even been in to see what's there and what needs to be done.
Yeah, so
We don't know.
he's been in there twice.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Once with the builder, Nick, and then once unannounced.
I will say, when we were having our salon done, we had the building inspector in there, what, 8 or 9 times?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we could not occupy it as a business, and we waited and waited for several weeks. Yes, there were a number of setbacks, but once everything was lined up, boom, we moved right in. Sometimes it is frustrating, but
Yeah, and there were a couple times that Silvio said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna give you this, but you need to do these things. Right? You can move in, but you need to do these things. Call me when you get done. I give you 2 weeks. I don't remember what it was. So that's what we're asking for is a plan with the county
Plan with the county to move forward for an occupancy.
for an occupancy permit. Yes.
Sounds fair.
I'm ready for.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, all,
I
you
didn't
want to
have-
reread it?
Do I have a second?
Yeah,
I
you got it,
seconded that.
Richard.
Richard.
Okay.
I seconded, yeah.
You want to reread
Yep.
it? So-
hang on a second.
Yep.
So the motion is to extend the consideration of the special land use permit for expert lawn and snow until the next regular meeting. So we're not gonna even consider what we're gonna do with it
Nope.
until the
Nope.
next meeting. Does that make sense?
Yep.
It's not
Yep.
saying it's
Yep.
only for 30 days. It's
Nope.
not,
Yep.
it's saying until the next meeting.
Right.
And then you guys will consider it again.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that motion's been approved.
So now, ball's in you guys' court.
Yep. All right. Other items. Dean, you want to ask about the greenhouse now?
No, I would rather go through this whole packet first.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm curious, what's?
So you know you joke, but if you guys would read those things, you would
I did
understand.
start reading.
No, I'm just-
I would learn.
No, I'm just telling you, you joke, but we have a zoning ordinance.
Yeah.
We have that, I mean, there's a building code that's probably bazillion miles long
Oh, I
that
started
none of
looking
us
through it.
understand,
Yeah.
but that, if there's something wrong in there, I need to know it. Because that's what we're giving to people, telling them, and in there it says that if you have a change in use.
Yeah,
you're gonna-
no, I read that.
You're gonna need some
Yeah.
permits,
Yeah.
okay? So
And you
we're-
gotta
this
have
is
multiple
nothing new.
permits. It's
And
not
it's
just
also
one.
not
It's,
my job, no, but it's
Oh,
also
no,
not
that's
my
not
job
Silvio.
or the
I remember
office's
the
job
letters,
to
they
tell
had
an
to do some
applicant
repairs and some
what
stuff.
permits they need at the county.
Right.
Okay, we give you a packet, but we don't know if you're digging in the soil. We don't know how many employees you have in it. We don't know if you need 1 sink or 2. We don't know any of those things. That's not our job. We get them to you guys, we get them to the county, and we try to understand some of these things, but I mean, to blame the staff or anybody else, I mean, things just happen. This was all going on during COVID. We sometimes didn't, I mean,
I
there's
appreciate that.
both sides, everybody had issues, but if we all read these things and understand that we are putting things together based on, plans and, rules and laws that I mean, we're trying the best we can to uphold what you guys have given us to use as tools.
Right. Well, I liked what we talked about the other day, putting on the special use permit somewhere included required permits.
Right, and so when
We covered in this meeting.
when you guys make a motion, like we always have to approve, we can approve, we can table, we can deny, whatever, and then if you do that, you do it based on the conditions. We think we should add a little, blurb in there that says, one condition is that you will, have a CMO, that you will have, we'll just put in there that you have to follow those.
Might make it.
And that
easier for the
way-
next person.
That way, nobody, can say that we didn't tell them that, we'll
Right.
put it in the special, land use.
Right.
So I think we should do that with anything we approve, that we say, this doesn't mean you don't have to get any other required permits, because we don't know if you need something from the well people or from,
Right.
we don't know those things. So, or if you're not gonna meet fire code, we don't know those things, we don't have that information in our office. So, I mean, I think it is important that, and that is our synopsis, that, we give people, we throw that on the website, and if somebody calls and they're like, hey, I'm just asking about something, I'll send them right to that planning and zoning guide, because then but I mean, I can't tell you what they read.
right.
So, those things are.
But
important.
on to Dean's question here. Because I was looking the other day trying to see, do we have something in our ordinance about how long they have to get something like that?
We do, but it's not the zoning ordinance.
Okay, that's what I
It's
was,
just the regular code of ordinance.
okay,
And I think it's 90 days and they're approaching on that.
okay.
We have,
Are they
Dan-
waiting on insurance or something?
yeah, there are some insurance issues, some couple of other things, but Dan made a phone call today and it does sound like they're trying to work something out. They may already have, an excavation company hired to do the demo, but I don't really, it's like, there's some insurance thing that the city belongs to for if there's a fire. We've had this happen before. If there's a fire, the insurance company is supposed to immediately send us a certain percentage of that claim. So if the claim is made, but the problem is the claim is kind of hung up right now, but they're supposed to mail us a check. And I hold it until either it's demoed, rebuilt or whatever, and then the homeowner gets the money back. We've used it 2 other instances here in the city when we've had a fire. So, and I don't have to do anything. When that claim is filed, something at the state level triggers it and they mail me a check.
Okay.
And then I get a letter from the insurance company saying, what it's for, which in our size jurisdiction, we pretty much know, but that hasn't happened in this case. And it's, I'm like, so we called today and the insurance company kind of made it sound like that it might be getting ready to be taken care of. So we are on it. So, but there's
Susan,
just-
you want to ask this question?
no, I didn't.
You're smart.
I just
Um,
happen
Well,
to
it
have
was
a
brought
lot.
up,
I
it
have a
was
lot
brought
of
up
things.
at the last meeting too. I do
So,
remember that.
On this note of this property, at least we don't have to worry about that fence anymore, right?
I don't know. What if they don't take it down?
What if he comes in and
True.
builds another house that just continues?
True.
That was deemed.
Then
But
it'll be a
total-
new build.
That
and
was
then-
total loss
It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
total loss.
unrepairable.
Yeah, it's a total loss.
So no matter
Oh,
what, it
there's
has to
a
be
tree door
cleaned
there.
up
I
in
can
a
put it in
certain
my
amount of
cabin.
time.
Okay, any other new business, any other items?
I
Sorry,
just,
trying to keep some.
I wanted everybody to
Good luck.
know that we got a grant.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it did come out, the governor did a release today, so it's,
Oh, it's news to
Oh.
be told.
yeah.
Fantastic.
Wait, did
yeah.
I see the wrong one?
What one did you see?
I don't know.
You've probably
It's
seen
I
the right
saw one,
Page
yeah.
number
They
2.
hadn't announced it yet. That's why
Okay.
it's like NBC or whatever.
page number
Yeah,
2.
They released it today. so.
It's for the city of Langsberg, Fulford Investments buying the Seal Hair Studio for $24,534. So
What you gonna do with the money?
You gonna do my hair?
Actually, we've gotten
No.
2 quotes. What we're doing is building onto the back side of the salon. Behind the salon, there's a foyer.
Mhm.
Then there is an external room past it.
Isn't that
In that,
what
we're gonna divide
Right
2
in front of
rooms,
the
have
thing.
estheticians, which are people who do facials, and then masseuse.
Ah.
So we'll have either 2 estheticians and 2 masseuses, or 1 and 1, but
Can you start the masseuse first?
my,
Not for you.
Get them in there first.
coincidentally, my daughter will be graduating within a month or so.
Perfect.
She's
My
doing her
birthday's in May,
course.
so.
Somebody has to get off the butt and get the area cleaned out.
Well, you
Yeah,
have people that can help.
I was gonna say.
Beer
Yeah,
and
come
pizza,
on.
beer and pizza party will clean it. We'll get it done, right? Anyway, we found out about that. not too long
That's
ago.
exciting.
It's a good deal. Good
Congratulations.
job.
Thank you very much. It's very exciting.
we worked hard.
That sounds wonderful.
It's gonna be exciting because I won't have to build. nor-
Right, no,
nor-
no,
nor
me.
Jeff.
I just said I'd clean.
We can put our white hat on and
That's
come in
right.
and just supervise. It's gonna be great.
So your contractor will take care of all your permits and stuff, right?
That's the hope.
Yes.
That's the hope, sir.
I
Yep.
think I must have got lucky when I did my building. Mr. Brink knew what he's doing.
Well, when you deal with the county as much as these builders do, they pretty much know all the
Yeah.
ins
yeah.
and outs of what they need. you know.
Mhm.
So
Well,
I'm gonna
we
say
we had the
this,
special use permit too for our building and everything. It's kind of, I don't know, lucky or what, but everything just kind of clicked.
I've complained about Pete's group, but they're nothing compared to the heating and mechanical folks from the state. of Michigan. God, they're bad.
Yes, we jumped hoops.
Yeah,
We jumped some hoops, yeah.
yeah. So,
You got anything else?
I
I
thought,
think,
Oh.
yeah.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I
I second that.
Second.
I go home and
Thank you all.
wash my face and cool it down.
I was gonna say, what the heck happened to you? You've been standing outside?
3 years.
Oh, sorry to hear. Doing all right though otherwise?
Tonight's my last night of it. so
Good.
Very good.
Good.
It's been
it's a
kicking
lot
my,
worse than it was last week.
oh yeah.